All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Ebony again, a.k.a. Fit Mom Diva of Simplicity Health Style. And today we have Miss Zhariah with us. How are you, Zhariah?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with us, you guys. She is speaking with us all the way across the seas in France, and I would love it if you stuck around to the end. If you do so, you'll have an opportunity to earn a complimentary gift as a form of appreciation. So, Zaria, so we get to know you a little bit better. Can you start us off by sharing one motivational quote that really inspires you, something that encourages you and gets you going?
Okay. First off, I want to introduce myself. My name is Zhariah, as she said. I'm a sophomore international business major and I'm studying at Howard University. I'm currently studying abroad in Nice, France right now. So that's about me. And a motivational quote that really gets me going is failure will never deter me enough to derail me from my goals.
Beautiful. Can you tell us a little bit about a time where perhaps you did feel like you were failing and you had obstacles that you had to overcome and some unforeseen circumstances arise that maybe got in the way of you feeling like you were making any progress, but at the end of the day you were able to see your goal or your dream to fruition?
So kind of like I was in a situation where I never saw the light at the end of the tunnel, kind of like that.
Yeah.
So failure is just something in life. We all fail at some point. But I feel like in my life, I'm always failing at some point, but I never really show that to people because nobody ever really sees the failing. Everybody sees everybody succeeding. And even if you fail, they're like, oh, okay, we'll just try again. But like failure really does deter you from doing something. But in my life, I have some really big goals. So I never really want failure to deter me from making those goals. So those goals really make a difference. Are they really about to change the world? I like to say. So in my life, before college, I was just going to school, going back home, hanging with my friends, just regular doing like just regular high school stuff. And then I decided to move away for college. I'm not local. So I moved to Howard. I stay at Howard University's campus, all that stuff. So I wanted to be uncomfortable. I never stayed in DC before. I was in DC stuff like that, but nothing too serious, not no family in DC, anything. So I wanted to be uncomfortable because uncomfortable makes you grow. So I moved to Howard. Howard is great. I love Howard. The environment is crazy. The people are so great, loving, and just motivate you like you would never believe. So although I had all these great people around me and all these great experiences at the tip of my fingertips, I still felt kind of empty in a sense. And I had brushes of depression before, but nothing too serious because I was comfortable in my life. I know how to like get over it. But I was in a place where I didn't really know anybody. Like I knew one person from back home. I didn't really know that much people. Like I would know you, but like it's an acquaintance. If something happens to me, I'm not gonna run to you. So I didn't really feel like I have that person to lean on or people I can trust. So I was kind of to myself sometimes is just you didn't really want to leave the house, you didn't really want to do anything. It was very hard to get out of this slump this time. So it just got bigger and bigger. And then I just sat myself down myself. So I sat myself down one day and said, I can't keep doing this. I need to get out and talk to people. When people invite me places, actually go, don't brush it off, get out of my room, join things. And even if you don't, if I join things, I don't get in, just try again, do something different. Just like get out of your comfort zone, basically. I started mentoring kids at this local community center, and you can't really be like sad and down around kids. So they really lifted my spirit, and I just liked helping the kids. So I used to mentor there, and yeah, I just pushed myself to get out of the slump. I feel like the failure was pushing my depression, so I kind of pushed back in a sense because I don't really like being put in a corner. I have to do something. I need to be in control of myself at all times. So I took control of my life, basically. And I didn't feel like during that time, I didn't feel like I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like I just moved away so far from home and I feel like did I make the right decision? am I gonna stay here? Am I gonna move back home? I didn't know what I was gonna do. So I just like, I didn't move here for nothing. So I'm gonna deal with it. Basically, like I'm not good with failing. Like I don't like feeling like a failure. I'm always gonna make best out of the situation. So yeah, and then at the end of the semester, really the whole school year, I felt like I wasn't failing anymore. I feel like I was just living my life. I got the slump. I didn't really feel that depressed anymore because I felt like I was always around energy that really lifted me up in a sense.
Right.
And in terms of failing, I feel like it was more towards my career and like my schoolwork, because I was always used to doing good. I was always used to getting achievements. But like when it came to a place where everybody's good at something, everybody was class president or the leader of this, everybody's leaders. So you have to differentiate yourself.
Right.
So I got to the point where it was I didn't really think about everybody else. I just focused on me, and I did way better then. And then my main thing was at the end of the year, I wanted an internship, and internships for freshmen was literally not. It was rare at best because freshmen don't really have that much achievements outside of high school. Nobody cares about high school. So you have to do something else. And then one day, I got a call from a colleague saying I'm doing this really good opportunity with this consulting firm in DC. You should come out and we should talk about it. And then I went and talked to the boss and like some of the partners and stuff like that, and they really liked me apparently because I got the job. And I had an internship for the summer, and that was just because I didn't think too much about it, or I think, well, what if they don't like me and this and that. I just went and I went within myself, and I got the job. So at the end of this whole freshman experience, I made friends, made experiences, like almost got a 4.0, but I'm not really good at math. So, and I got a freshman internship. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So at the end of the day, sometimes I feel like, when we know exactly what we want to do, we know what the goal is, and we are also passionate about that goal, it doesn't really matter how many things come in the way. It might derail us for a little bit of time, or it may make us feel like we're a failure and we suck for a little bit of time, but because the passion never goes anywhere, you keep making steps toward it. So it's always wonderful how you actually can really really say that you know what your goal is, or what lights you up and what your passion is, because those are the times that I feel like you grow in the process when things don't happen the way you expected it to happen, but at the same time you're still making baby steps toward your goal because your passion isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Can you said that you had moved from home to Washington, D.C. to attend Howard University. Can you talk a little bit about where home is for you, and talk a little bit about how people that don't necessarily have a very strong support system can gain a new support system? And maybe talk about your own support system. Like, what were your challenges with seeking a new support system? What are your current family support network? What's your current family support network like? And how does that benefit you in achieving your dreams?
Okay, so I was born and raised in St. Kitts and Nevis. It's in the Caribbean. It's a really small twin island federation. It's close to Anguilla, so it's one of the smaller ones, but that's what I call home. So I really moved really far. I literally like moved from a different country. Just moved to the States. My mom lives in the States, so she lives in Maryland. She's not that far, but she's still far enough that I can just walk like home or something. So
right.
It was still a big change for me because I used to come to the States for like summer vacations and stuff like that, but like living there for more than 2 months was different for me. So it was a culture shock as well, beside everything else, but it wasn't as extreme as I've known others to experience. Growing up, because I used to visit my mom so much in the summers, I got to experience that. Some people didn't because of obviously like opportunities and resources and stuff like that. So I just always used to take advantage of what was given to me. I got to see the world in retrospect. My support system, I think it's pretty great. Before I talk about mine, I feel like we should talk about the steps, as you were saying, about gaining a support system. I actually wrote some down because I think about some of them when I was going through struggles myself. So I have the first one is ask others about their system, like support systems, for like an objective view, not for comparison, but just to talk about like support systems on a whole before talking about yourself. And remember not to compare, because it's really easy to compare somebody else's situation to yours, but it's just to see how support systems are viewed by others.
Right.
And then the next one is ask yourself, and it, like if you were experiencing a very like an extreme situation, like something that would never happen to you, but what if it does? Like, who do you run to? Who do you talk to? Are you scared in that moment? And if you're scared, why are you scared? Like, what are the consequences? What's going to happen to you? Like, for example, I guess in high school or something, in high school, what if I dropped out of school and like got pregnant and then my whole life falls apart or something, like an extreme situation like that for someone who's in high school and who's just still developing themselves as a person? What, like, do you feel like your parents are gonna run? Is something gonna happen to you? Like, are you scared? For me, what if I get expelled from Howard or something? Like, what would happen to me? For my parents disown me? Like, stuff like that. Like, think of an extreme situation that you really feel even scared thinking about it. Are you scared to talk to other people about it? Who are you gonna talk to first? Like, stuff like that. Another step is ask yourself why you are like, are you allowing others to support you? Because sometimes different personalities clash, and sometimes people are they're individuals in their nature, so they don't really feel like they need anybody, and they really exude that to others, so others don't feel like you need them, or they don't feel like if you support them, you'll accept it. So that's one thing as well. And another one is if your current support system is lacking and there's absolutely nothing you can do to like basically force people to support you, how are you gonna seek another one? And if you're gonna seek it, my suggestions is to join another group of people with the same interests but not issues.
Yeah.
Because issues can clash, and that might not make for a wonderful situation. Because if you and another person have the same type of issues, it could turn into a toxic relationship very fast. So joining a group that has different interests or the same interests but not issues is a good way to start, because at least you have a group you can relate to or you can trust in some way other than like family or like close friends, someone who's like objective view of you. So those are my tips to support systems and questioning your current support system. For me, I think before college really helped me realize some things about myself. When I was younger, I think my support system was fine for what it was, because I was still young, I guess. But recently, I'm used to always getting good grades. Good grades weren't a thing for me. Like, it's just whatever. I go to class, I get an A. That's what I expected, because I always get them. But I was in this class, and it was very hard dealing with teachers and different assignments that I'm not used to, the different types of learning. So something happened that I didn't really know how to cope, because I'm not used to not getting A's all the time. I'm not used to feeling like a major test or something. That's not what happened, but I'm just like, example. So I was crying all the time. I'm a kind of dramatic person sometimes, but I was crying like the whole semester over this one class, like literally this one class, because I'm like, so that's affect my GPA. And I was so in qualms about it. So I was like, do I tell my parents about this? Because I feel I'm gonna let them down. Go tell them I'm not gonna get an A or a B in this class or something. So in the end, I just end up telling them, and they're very supportive. They're actually more worried about me than my actual grades. And I was actually surprised, not because they care about me, but because they didn't really care about my grade at all. Like, they didn't just like, okay, if you fail, that's like, you just take it again. I'm like, I can't take it again. And they just like, they were so like, just calm down. And both of my parents have two different personalities. One is just very loving, and the other one is very like, you know, you're fine, like very nonchalant. Because I'm very nonchalant sometimes, so I feel like I take from both of them in different ways. But it was
Right.
very surprising to see how the more nonchalant, like you'll be fine parent was very concerned. He was the most concerned. He was always calling me, making sure I was good, because I was crying all the time. And he was making sure I was good all the time. He really, like, you know, no matter what happens, like, you'll be fine, like, we'll figure it out. And that's when I really, really figured out that my support system is like the bomb. Because my parents are the best. Like, I love my parents. So I
That's
got
awesome.
because, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you know, sometimes I think that we beat ourselves up over things that other people, they really don't care that much about. You know, they want our best success, but when we stumble or we fail, you know, it's not the end of the world. I think we sometimes are our worst critics, but life
Yeah.
goes on, you know, and it's wonderful that you had a support system in place that was actually concerned about your well-being, and they, you know, didn't beat you up about it, because sometimes that leads to lower self-esteem actually.
Yeah.
When you have other people that you already feel bad and then you have other people beating you up even more, you know. So I think that the tools and tips that you just gave to us are wonderful for all of us, no matter whether we think that we have a strong support system currently or not, because situations change, and depending on what choices you make in life, you may need a different type of support system. So you gave some really good tips on how to find one that really can work well for what's going on in your life.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the relationship between self-care and us realizing our dreams as well? Because sometimes we might have a strong support system and we're feeling good about ourselves and we're feeling good about the fact that we have people to help us. But if we're not taking the best care of ourselves, we're not necessarily using enough of our passion and our energy toward our goals. And sometimes, you know, we get overwhelmed. Sometimes it's not even that we don't want to pursue our dreams. It's just that we're just tired. We're tired from sitting in traffic during the day. We're tired of, you know, taking care of ourselves in other capacities like work or school. We don't have time on side to realize our dream, or maybe we're taking care of other family members. I mean, there's just so many different, you know, segments of life that we could be a part of that really drains our energy. So maybe talk a little bit about some self-care strategies that you've used, and what is the relationship between that and you being able to put forth the energy that you need in order to carry out your dreams?
Yeah, for me, self-care is very interesting because I'm a busybody. I'll always be doing something. So I'm not really thinking about myself and if I'm sleeping correctly or if my mind's on right or something. I'm very on the go all the time. I don't really think about myself as much. I always think about getting the job done and just do whatever I need to do to get it done. So for self-care, I'm sorry for looking down because I made some little notes.
That's okay.
So self-care is more about focusing like within. So for me, I feel like you really focus on yourself and like, okay, so what's going on with you? Or like, are you good? And if you don't feel like you're good, you should focus less on other things that don't make you feel good. In the sense that we tend to worry about a lot of external factors that are drawing from our energies more than we realize.
Yeah.
And if external factors are drawing from energy that you have, you don't have anything to focus on yourself, like energy to actually like focus on yourself, like sit down and like watch TV sometimes, just like relax.
Yeah.
For me, when I'm stressed, like when I'm to the point where I'm like stressed beyond belief and I can't do anything else, I'm like, okay, this is enough. I'm gonna go watch some YouTube, watch some makeup tutorials, watch Netflix, and just binge out, like eat chips or something, just something to relax myself. Just do anything. Sometimes I actually go walking sometimes, which is very strange because I don't like exercising. So I walk sometimes to clear my head. I really feel much better afterwards. Sometimes I work out, but walking really, I don't really walk that much like in the city that much, but I would go in my dorm and go to the gym. Other things I do, I talk to people from back home. I just do things that I know will make me happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you mentioned something that is very key, and that is that sometimes it's as simple as turning on TV, turning on YouTube, and getting some chips. This doesn't necessarily have to be the same self-care methods that other people do. I've talked to people that their self-care is sitting in a quiet room and looking at all four walls because they're able to really have an opportunity just to think, you know. A lot of times when people work in very high stress jobs, particularly, there's nothing more satisfying for them than to just sit in a quiet room with nothing going on around them. So self-care looks different for everybody, but what I've noticed is that when people find what that is for themselves, that they stay more consistent with what it is that they're working toward, whatever their goals are. A lot of times when people are working 40 plus hours a week, or they're in school, or they're doing whatever that they need to do in life, when they can take just 15 minutes a day to do what it is that they love, whether it's painting a picture or coloring in a coloring book, or they go to the gym or whatever it is that they enjoy, they tend to feel better when they're doing that on a consistent basis. It allows their minds to just expand and open up, where they're like, okay, I feel good about life again. I find that sometimes when people are working in jobs too that are unfulfilling, having that 15 minutes a day brings a little bit more meaning to their life as well. Because can you imagine sitting in a room for 8 hours a day that you can't stand? And then outside of that, you can't do anything that you enjoy as well. So just, having that 15-minute break on a consistent basis. You add 15 minutes a day times 7 days a week. That's a lot of minutes that you gave yourself that you might not have given yourself if you didn't consciously say, I need to give myself care. Add that to the number of days in a year. That's a lot of self-care that you're giving yourself. So thank you. Thank you for sharing your challenges in that space and some tips that you've used. I often think sometimes people listen to us talk and they're thinking to themselves, you guys are saying some awesome things, and I would love to be able to treat myself better and make better decisions and find a support circle and all that good stuff. But right now I'm feeling stuck. I don't know what the next step is to take. So can you just real quickly just wrap up and just share some closing words of encouragement, and just something that someone that's listening can take with them if they're feeling like, okay, Zhariah, I listened to everything you said. It sounds wonderful, but you don't know my situation, and right now I feel stuck. What's a good next step that person could take?
Okay, I too often listen to others and think, okay, this is great. You're an awesome person. Your situation sounds like it worked out fine, but that's not gonna happen for me. I completely understand because everybody's situation is different. That's real. That's just realistic.
Yeah.
But what's not subjective is determination. If you care about something as much, if you care about yourself, you wouldn't give up on yourself. If you care about your goals, you won't give up on your goals. There's obstacles in the way for a reason, because what you're getting to in life is worth it.
Yes.
Whatever you want in life is worth the challenges. Like, you would not go this far if it wasn't meant for you. That's what I tell myself all the time, because I would have never guessed I would be in France right now. Because when I was applying, I'm like, I'm really gonna go to France, like, really, Zhariah? But here I am, like 4 months in France, doing what I wanted since I was a little girl. Like, I would have never thought this actually would happen to me. Like, if you want it, you have to work for it. It's not gonna come easy. If it comes easy, you will never be happy, because everybody can get it. So
Yes.
it's about challenges. So you need to go and what you want. That's my words.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. You're exactly right. When you really, really want something, you're going to make the steps toward it. So I think one of the main things is discovering what that is that really lights you up, that you're passionate about, and that you really want. And at the beginning of this interview, I mentioned that if you listen to the end, that you'd have an opportunity to earn a complimentary gift. I absolutely love it when I'm speaking with someone and I see that their face lights up when we finally discover what that thing is that really is their passion. Not something that they're good at, that they've been good at for their entire life, but really deep down feels like that's their passion and their purpose on this earth. So I have a link included in the description box for my Nutrition for Busy Women Facebook group. We are not just talking about nutrition from a food consumption standpoint. We're talking about nutrition for the mind, body, and soul. And I will give you complimentary resources to help you discover your personality type in much more detail than what you probably already know. and also discover the gifts and strengths that you have already on the inside of you that will be able to contribute to you serving others in this world in whatever way that may be. I strongly, strongly believe that a lot of times people, they walk through life unfulfilled partly because of the fact that they don't really understand what it is that they're passionate about. And I see that more often than not. So I would love to be able to help you in that regard. Thank you so much, Zhariah. I appreciate you. And any of you that are listening, if you feel like something that Zhariah said resonated with you, it probably will resonate with someone else as well. So share this content out to any friends or family that you believe that could benefit from listening to her. And if you want to be able to share your challenges, share your successes, share your story with me and other ladies across the world as well, I encourage you to reach out to me. All my contact info is in the description box, and Zhariah's contact info is in the description box if you want to reach out to her. I'm sure that she's open to positive, like-minded collaborations as well. Zhariah, any last words of encouragement before we end?
I just want to say, if this video, audio helps anyone, I've done myself the greatest service to everybody. If nobody listens to this and just thinks, well, just talking is the big disservice. But if I actually help you in any way, and you just like to hear me talk and the motivation that I give off, I hope I give some kind of motivation. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Zhariah. I'll give it to Ebonie to put in the link in the description or anything. You can go and watch my videos. It's mainly just me in France, Italy, Spain, wherever, just exploring. But I also talk about other stuff too, where I'm trying to be more empowering, because since life seems very empowering right now. I feel like I'm at this point in my life where my goals are being realized. I'm actually doing what I want to do, so I want to try to be more motivational on my channel. Another thing I want to do, which is like very random, I want to start a podcast with like different women, saying different views, like really contrasting views on like the social topics. Could be anything in music, entertainment, anything like gossip. It could be like politics, anything. I just want to set up like a podcast with different women with like starkly different views to show people that we can actually respect others' opinions instead of like bashing each other. Like if she doesn't think like me, like just forget her. That's something I want to do. So if you want to talk about it or just talk about topics, it doesn't have to be about the podcast or anything. Just contact me. I'm open. I'm very friendly. I talk to everybody. So
Awesome. So as I said, all her contact info will be in the description box. And I think that's very much needed to be able to talk about things from different perspectives and from very, very different perspectives, because you're exactly right. I mean, how can we really grow if we think that everybody should think exactly like us? You understand?
The same. Everybody has different views. Everybody has come from different backgrounds. Why they think that way? So we just need to be considerate of other people's opinions.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. And any of you listening, if you would like to collaborate with her, please do so. I think it's so important for us to get to know each other as humans and help expand this world and just give each other love and respect. So please reach out to her, and I would love to be able to hear some of your podcast episodes and share them out with other ladies. And I hope that any of you listening, that you do the same thing as well. Share this content out and her content with as many people as you believe that it can benefit, and let's create a ripple effect across the world. Thank you so much, Zhariah. I appreciate you. And for all of you listening, continue to listen in on future episodes. And wherever you are in the world, always remember to live a life full of meaning and purpose. I'll connect with you in our next episode. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.